Before we begin, thank you very much to MLB for joining my Patreon campaign over at patreon.com/TJOmega. Every little bit helps keep the channel going, keep the content coming, and I appreciate each and every one of you for contributing. We're getting like scary close to the Beast Wars unlock, and like this part of me is like, look at how there's a frantic pace to get reviews out already, let alone to double the workload. But hey, if you get me to that point, I'm willing to do it. So, it's another episode of the Toy Store Life, and I thought I would tell you all about the scariest part of the Toy Store Life, which is the brand new release of a Pokemon TCG. So, this boom started late 2020 when influencers started. Like influence, I mean like tens of millions of subscribers. You know, lofty heights that I could only imagine. Those types were starting to open up Pokemon cards during the pandemic because they needed content, because they couldn't leave the house, so they decided we need something to do. So let's just buy up full boxes and cases of Pokemon cards and open them up on camera. And they got massive views for it, and everyone found out, oh, you can actually make a pretty good profit off of Pokemon cards if you're lucky. So everyone has been trying to do it, and they've been trying to do it all year. And I keep waiting for it to slow down. I keep waiting for people to figure out it's just dumb luck. You know, you might as well play the stock market. But no, collectors are still frantic. Scalpers are still frantic. So the Pokemon boom continues. And right now, as I record this, I'm waiting for the UPS truck to come by with our brand new Pokemon edition Fusion Strike. It doesn't quite have the hype that the last one, Evolving Skies, did, but any new Pokemon product is going to come with hype, and it's going to come with a lot of people coming looking for it. So I am here. I'm waiting for the truck. I might have to interrupt this video to stop in case the truck shows up at the wrong time. But when you have a day like this, the thing is like it's one of the few days where I'm gonna have a lineup at the door and a rush of people just trying to get in to get the first one's lined. Everyone's gonna be one of the ones who wants an ETB. Everyone's gonna want, you know, the whatever box set. The first one in the door is probably gonna buy one of everything I got. You know, and we don't limit people on product here. A lot of places like, no, you can only buy 2 packs, or you can only buy 2 things. We don't do that here. We are strictly, you know, just first come, first serve. You know, so who knows? Generally, we'll get in a whole whack of product. We'll get in full cases of booster boxes. We'll get in 20 Elite Trainer boxes. They will most likely be gone by the end of the week. Most likely they'll be gone by by the time I close up on Sunday. That's, you know, a scary turnover time. And then we have to figure out how we're going to keep it on the shelves until we get our second order in. But it's an exciting time. It's a scary time, but it's an exciting time because it's the kind of weekend where like the shop sees its best returns, and we start paying the bills for the month on days like this. So you take the good with the bad. Not that there's really all that much bad to it. You know, the customers are fine. You know, it's just a little crowded is all, and you start worrying about supply lines. But beyond that, you know, sales are sales, and if it all sells, that's nothing but good for us. Now, part of this is the scary part that you don't really like to talk about. Collectors don't like to talk about it. Shops don't like to talk about it. We're going to talk about it now because I show no fear. But we're going to be talking about the price of this because this is a local gaming store, and what people expect of a local gaming store is an upcharge. And you know what? You're not wrong. There is going to be an upcharge to this when they get it in. Now, Fusion Strike doesn't have as much hype to it as Evolving Skies did, so we're probably going to keep it to a minimum. But generally, yes, it's not going to be MSRP. And a lot of people think that's just sheer greed. A lot of people think, oh, you just want to take advantage of people, so you're charging, as much as you can. Not true. Not the case. In any of those anything in that statement is decidedly false. People just like to believe that so they can demonize a shop like this without really understanding what goes on in our internal processes as well as the market itself. So there's a few reasons why it's more expensive here than it is at Walmart or Target. The big reason is there are weeks, there are days where the only thing I will sell all day is Pokemon. Literally, no one will come in, no one will get a Funko Pop. I got these awesome Gargoyle NECA figures. No one's gonna come in and buy one of those. The toys are just gonna sit and collect dust for one more week. No, what people are gonna buy, and the only thing they will buy is Pokemon cards all week, all weekend, without a question. So when that has to keep the lights on and pay everybody involved in this shop, we have to get what we can. Otherwise the shop closes down and your guaranteed place to find Pokemon when every other store in town is sold out goes away. And I would think you'd rather pay a little bit more to make sure that there's a place to get it than either risk it online or end up paying the scalper price. That is another factor here, is that what we charge what we charge does eliminate the scalpers from our equation. You're not going to deal with scalpers the way you are at Target and Walmart because they know a place like this isn't going to charge MSRP. They can't profit off of MSRP. They're going to take it. They buy a ETB for $40. They're going to take it online and charge 75. Well, if they go to a local gaming store and they have an ETB for 60, well, now there's no profit margin for that, is there? So it is a deterrent in a way. You don't have to compete with scalpers here. They don't come here. The only time we deal with scalpers is generally when we get an attack review posted. We this shop and the one in the mall shop that I used to work at. Those both of these shops have received attack reviews from fake accounts on Facebook. They're completely blank. They're based out of another country, etc. They were literally just made just to leave a bad review for us, and it's a review full of lies and slander. And I can't get Facebook to remove it, even though it's obviously lying. But literally that happens when someone comes to us hoping to find stuff to scalp and flip on eBay and doesn't find it. And that's good because that means we have more going around for the people who have been going all over town and cannot find it. And I find most of the people who come here don't even bother with that anymore. So we're charging a little bit more than MSRP, but when they come in the door, they know they're going to find what they want, and they're not going to have to waste their day and their gas and wear and tear on their car, etc., driving all around trying to fight the scalpers at Walmart and Target just to get a little bit. And when they get to Target, they're going to get limited to how much they can buy in the first place. Easier to just come here. Okay, it costs a little bit more, but it saves so much of the headache. So, and honestly, like the genuine clientele that comes in here generally has no problem with what we're charging. And to be fair, we try to be as fair as possible. We don't we know what everyone else in town is charging for new product. We charge less than that. Like for a local gaming shop, we're probably the cheapest in the area. So we're trying to be fair about that. We're aware of how much they go for online. We try to sell for under that. Get what we can, but be fair about it at the same time. That's kind of where we're trying to find the balance. And there's a few factors that completely take it out of our hands. For starters, if we take in sealed product from somebody else in trade or whatnot, we're going to be into that heavier than we are if we get it from a distributor that's charging wholesale price. So we can't charge MSRP, even if that was an option for a shop like this. Beyond that, sometimes we're not the ones doing the scalping. So I have here an Elite Trainer box from Shining Fates. You'll note the tag on that, 100 American dollars. So an ETB like this at retail would be 50. Now that means that when we buy it from a wholesaler, we should be getting it for around $28.50 a box. So that's they make their profit margin, we make our profit margin, etc. The circle continues. Shining Fates is the follow-up to Hidden Fates. Hidden Fates, when the boom happened, was the most popular set because it was the collector-oriented set, and it was already getting hard to find, so everyone was buying it up left and right. Even with this boom, causing an extra production run of Hidden Fates, it still costs $150 online to get just one ETB of the series. Retailers, or distributors rather, knew that. So when Shining Fates came out, the first run was normal price. Everything after that, $65 a box. The MSRP on this is $50, by the way. And they were getting away with $65. This box cost us $65 to get. And when you complain about that, they will tell you, well, just upcharge it. Everyone else is. Okay? So in that case, we don't have much of a price. We don't have much of a choice. And we don't have, like, a tiny store like this, we don't have a contract with a distributor that says you have to give us this price all the time like Walmart and Target does. We don't have the buying power to make those kind of contracts. So we're stuck. We have to accept whatever they give us at whatever price they give us because we don't have any other option. Any other distributor out there is going to do the exact same thing. So what are we supposed to do? If we charge MSRP for this, we're losing $15 a box. So we're getting scalped. So now the distributors are the scalpers. Sucks. But I'm being honest with you here. That's what goes on sometimes in the market. That's a huge reason why something like this is not the price that it's supposed to be. And again, we try to be as fair about it as possible. For this, obviously our profit margin is $35, which is not a whole lot in the grand scheme of things for something like this. But we're comfortable at that price. And when every other shop in town is charging $120 to $150 for a box like this, I think we're being more than fair, and everyone seems quite happy to find it at the price we're charging. So that will tell you just how crazy the market is, and sometimes it's not so bad. We try to be, like, even if we're upcharging, we try to be the nice shop about the upcharging. We don't go ridiculous. We don't try to get every dime we can. We don't try to take all of the money you paid for that week. And of course, no one's forced to pay this price either. It's everybody's choice if it's worth it to them or not. So before you start, like, jumping down the throat of a local gaming store for their pricing, understand that there's so many factors involved that you don't take into account when all you're thinking about is, paying as little as possible as you can for something. I understand money's tight, the world is expensive. You want to enjoy your hobby without going broke, but we also want to stay open. We want to keep getting paychecks. Is what we want. So, and we want to be able to pay for the next series that comes out. That's the other thing, is that so much of the money that we make goes right back into what we are getting in distribution. This week is basically going to pay for a big order we have coming in next week, etc., etc., and the chain goes on. Ultimately, not a whole lot stays in the owner's pocket. It goes into me, it goes into the bills, and then whatever's left over goes into all the next stuff that we take in. New collections, new Pokemon releases, new Magic the Gathering releases, whatever the next wave of things is going to be. We have to make sure we can pay for it so we can keep the place going. So that's the truth of the upcharge. Sometimes there is a lot of good reason why it exists, and it's not always about greed. It's not always about taking advantage of people. Beyond that, a new Pokemon launch day it's an exciting day. I'll give it that. But it is also a day full of drama as people start rushing in. Do you have this? You have this? I will be getting bombarded with phone calls and Facebook messages all day asking what we have, what are our prices, and technically I still have to double check with the boss what we're going to be charging for everything that we got coming in today. But it is at least an interesting time, and hopefully this gives you a little bit of insight to what it is like to run a local shop like this on what is essentially, our biggest launch day. It's always going to be the new Pokemon. It's always going to make a big day here. So hopefully it's a little bit of understanding for you and a little bit more insight as to what the toy store life really is like.
Guys, I am facing the most powerful enemy any YouTuber can face, the algorithm, and I need your help to defeat him. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment. Every time you do, we attack that algorithm and we drive it back until it can no longer defeat this channel. Thank you very much.